Magandang umaga. Good morning. It's another Saturday and you're here with us at the Love Wins Live Forum. I'm Rona Capili Bonifacio, Editor-in-Chief of Inspirations.ph, and of course, with me is Ms. Sharon Fabian, Managing Director of Themes and Motifs. Morning.
Good morning, Rona, and good morning to everyone who's tuned in right now to Love Wins Live Forum. Hello sa mga nanonood sa Facebook Live ng Themes and Motifs and our YouTube channel, Themes and Motifs TV. Yan. Good morning, Rona. How are you? Happy anniversary.
Yes, totoo. 1 year na po tayo na official na-announce na we are living in a global pandemic. So akalain niyo po yun. Kala natin. Last year, 2 linggo lang po yun.
Yes. We
Ngayon,
thought 2 weeks.
Yes. But of course, now we know hindi po pala siya 2 weeks. And there's a lot of changes that's been happening. We hope that as you are watching us this morning, that you are safe at home, you're quarantining at home, or if you are at work, we hope you are also being safe. And there's a lot of things that we're talking about this morning. No, we're putting a bit of a hold on talking about celebrations, but instead this morning we're talking about moving forward. So in general, including our celebrations, including po, maybe informal family gatherings. Kasi nga, it's been 1 year. We've been in this pandemic, and now we know that there are vaccines in our country. People are getting vaccinated. We've also heard that there are variants and strains that have been detected in the Philippines. So I think a lot of us, raise your hand or comment po kayo kung meron kayong nare-receive na mga forward messages na ito po ang nadidinig ko sa doktor or ito po ang nadidinig ko from my friends. And so we want to clear that air, for all of us. Ano po ba ang totoo? Ano po ba ang sinasabi ng siyensya? Ano po ba ang facts? And how do we move forward? Do we get to keep doing what we've been doing this past year, or are there adjustments for us?
That's right. And we're hoping we will get a lot of information this morning. Kasi as we all know, the last 4 days, ang bilis ng changes. And of course, as we all know, yung events industry kakabit yan ng changes.
Yes.
With the status of the pandemic. So directly affected ang events and the industry. When we went on a lockdown din ang events.
Yes.
So now that we have all these things, the vaccine, the new variants, the increase in the number of infections, how does this now affect the wedding and events industry? How will this affect, if you are soon to wed, your wedding planning or yung debut celebrations that you've been dreaming of? So we are here again this morning with our favorite doctor. Pwede na ba natin siyang tawagin doctor ng bayan? Doctor ng events. Yan. Si Dr. Anna York Bondo.
Yan. Good morning, Doc.
Yes, hi Doc. Naka-mute ata, Doc, ang iyong mic.
Yan. Magandang umaga. Miss Sharon and Miss Rona, it's my pleasure again to be back here on Love Wins. And para bigyan po ng payo ang ating pong events industry at yung mga may planong personal plans po and family celebrations. So there's been really a lot of changes since I last guested, and a lot of the changes have been in the last 2 weeks. So ang gandang pag-usapan para mag-guide din po tayo on what we should be aware of and what we should be doing. Ayan po.
Ayan. So excited na ako. Si Doktora fresh na fresh. Fresh na fresh, nakakagising, at fresh na fresh sa kanyang, itong una kong itanong, ang kanyang vaccination.
Yes. Ako po ay bakunado na. I'm wearing my vaccine pin here. It says res bakuna. So I'm happy to let everyone know that nabakunahan po ako ng Sinovac yesterday. I am a pulmonary and critical care specialist. I am connected po with St. Luke's QC, but I was vaccinated po sa province namin in Pampanga at the Jose Bilingad Memorial Medical Center, which is it's a very big hospital po it's actually the biggest in Central Luzon. So I'm very happy to say na I feel so much better. Everyone keeps texting me, kumusta ka na? I told them that I feel well, and the most important is that meron akong peace of mind and I feel protected. Malaking bagay yun.
So, naka-first dose po kayo, Doc? Two doses ng Sinovac.
Yeah, it's
Tama
a 2-dose vaccine. And my second dose is going to be on April 15. So matagal, no? There's quite a gap between the first and the second dose.
Yeah. Right. And so what did
with the first dose, may protection ka na ha, malaking bagay na 'yon.
Okay. Yan ay tatanong ko eh. Kung na-injection, one dose pa lang ba, may coverage na 'yon, protection na sa'yo, or you have to wait for the second dosage pa para sabihin mo?
That's an ongoing question and marami pong nagtatanong noon. The full protection of the vaccine occurs 2 weeks after the second dose. Pero dun sa first dose, may paangat na siyang protection. Paangat na po siya, and the second dose is more of a booster or a primer para talagang umabot ka dun sa expected na 90% protection against severe COVID, against ma-ICU, and against dying. Pero at this point, meron ka ng protection definitely, and your body is the one producing the antibodies ngayon in reaction to the vaccine. So, gumagawa na po na antibodies ang ating katawan. Siyempre, it will take time nga lang. Hindi tayo aabot dun sa expected. By the way, Sharon, nasa UK, because they had the British variant, and I'm sure pupuntahan natin yan in your next few questions, they were racing to vaccinate the entire country. So, ano talaga, there was a move, actually they've done it, na dinelay yung second dosing para lahat ng tao first dose.
May first dose.
So, there was
yun yung strategy nila.
Yes, that was their strategy. Even though there are prescribed days by the vaccine companies because of the need to vaccinate really the entire UK population. Kasi kalat na talaga and they were dying 2,000 persons a day. It was really an emergency. So, dinelay. Ang strategy nila was to give everyone the first dose and then later on second dose. Yun.
And Doc, na may studies, no, yung naging effect ng vaccination sa kanila? Did it slow down?
Yes, in the US and in the UK, the rate of COVID is falling.
Wow. That's such a that's something that I want to hear again and again, that the rate of COVID is falling because I don't hear that enough.
Yes,
iba yung rate.
Oo, di ba? Iba ang falling sa atin, iba pong rate yung na-falling sa atin. But right now, of course, if you have been updated with the news, and I think everybody is, we are currently at an uptrend, I think, as what we've been seeing. And that's why, of course, that's also one of the reasons why we also asked Dr. Anay to join us this morning. Kasi nga, ang dami nang nagbago. The last time she was here, wala pa po tayong vaccines that were approved. And now, yun nga, we actually know of people already. I think a lot of us have seen people on our feed, di ba, na nakapag first dose na, ganyan, and everybody's asking, how did you feel? So, Doc, meron po ba kayong naramdaman na side effects?
Yung immediate reaction niyo po sa vaccine?
Actually, syempre may kaba talaga lahat ng tao prior to vaccination. But there's also a feeling na also thankfulness na you are one of the first Filipinos to be protected. Malaking bagay, and that's because we are doctors, no? Pero side effects wala talaga akong naramdaman. I feel well, hindi man namaga yung kamay ko or namigat. So I feel quite well. Actually, when I was there in the hospital in JBL, may kasama akong 85-year-old pediatrician, retired pediatrician. She also got vaccinated and she felt well. So seniors can get vaccinated safely.
What do you call this? Process, di ba po? If I'm not mistaken, is when you receive the vaccine or when you are injected, you have to wait 15 minutes. Tama po ba?
Oo. Sige. Tama yan, Rona. You do have to wait 15 minutes. Ito yung process na dinaanan ko. First of all, determine muna if you are tier 1 and medical doctors and frontliners, hanggang medical students actually, personnel of hospitals, barangay healthcare workers, ganyan, we are tier 1.
Okay.
So, tinawag na po kami to be vaccinated. They really got all the infos from your date, date of birth, talagang kompleto siya. And then when you go there, tatanungin ka talaga, no, allergies, comorbidities kung may iba ka't sakit. They are
Yes.
really very thorough. Talagang, ano talaga, it's check-upan ka talaga. And then once you get there, you will receive also a counseling on what to expect and what to do if something happens. So talagang kompleto talaga sila sa infos. Sa tatawag, kung ano gagawin mo, ganoon. And then, babakunahan ka na. Pagkabakuna mo, yes, Miss Rona, you have to wait 15 minutes. They will take your blood pressure, observe you, and see how you're feeling. So talagang, you feel that talagang, the process is safe. It's very
Right.
thorough and it's quite safe.
Yes. Meron po ba kayong iba pang document or anything like that after you received the first dose, parang as proof that okay, I have one dose and I have another one that I need to fulfill? Is that something that we're doing as a nation?
Oo, meron silang binibigyan na vaccine card. Everybody will get a vaccination card. I think ako nga palalaminate ko yung akin eh.
Oo, 'di ba?
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the firsts.
Oo.
Yeah, and that's something you really need to store and keep. Tama po ba?
Yeah, nalaminate ko yung akin and wear it around my neck.
Ayan. Okay, so napaka
Hindi na ako ng security guard na pumasok. Bakunado po.
Yeah. Yan. Magandang information yan, Doc. Thank you for sharing your experience with us because kami in the events industry, sometimes may opportunity for us to talk about the vaccine. Mix ang reaction eh. While a lot of the wedding suppliers, event suppliers are raring to go back to work and may mga nagtatrabaho na, malaking hati yung opinion. Okay? There are those, okay, game, pagka ready na yung vaccine for us, we'll take it. The others naman, ayaw or wait and see kasi yun nga, iba-iba ang naririnig, iba-iba ang source of information. So it's very helpful that we know of someone who is in the medical field, but at the same time, again, for those who have only tuned in now, and ngayon nyo lang nakita si Dr. Ana sa ating Love Wins Live Forum, meron po siyang ibang buhay maliban sa pagiging doktor, no? She is also in the events industry. Yan, kasamahan po namin siya sa events industry. So, she's quite aware of what's happening in the event. So, malaking bagay po to see someone like you who is active in the events industry pre-pandemic. Sabi ko pre-pandemic kasi ngayon medyo hindi tayo ganun ka-active lahat na dumaan po dito sa vaccine process na to. Yan. Pero Doc, kunyari for more info and they really want to have yung in-depth information, ano yung reliable sources of info for vaccine and yung vaccine dito sa Philippines?
Thank you for asking that question, Sarah. I'm a proud member of the event industry. We are one of the major wholesalers po and importers of mga bulaklak po, no? Flowers, Ecuadorian roses, peonies for your wedding bouquets. And I'm part of the styling po talaga sa events industry and I'm happy to be and proud to be a member of that. Unfortunately, talaga yung sinabi nyo talagang mixed reactions. Hindi lang po yung events industry, but the entire Philippines. Well, because unfortunately, nauna yung misinformation and disinformation before the actual information po ng gobyerno. So, what are the trusted sources? How to make sure that you're getting the proper information, ano? Yun ang tinatawag po nating know your source. And the sources that I could best recommend po talaga is the government through the DOH. And then trusted po na kilala nyo mga doktor. The World Health Organization is also a global goods source. Unfortunately, I would like to tell everyone, Facebook is not a doctor, okay? So talagang kailangan suriin po natin yung mga nakalagay. And let's rely on trusted sources that includes the government information po at yung mga kilala po sa worldwide health information. Unfortunately, mas masaya talagang mag-share ng mga maling info kasi yun yung mga madrama eh. Diba?
Correct. Kumbaga
Let's
sa
not
news, mas
share.
masaya ang tabloid, di ba?
Yes,
Kaysa sa front
but
page.
yes, but these are one of the things that we can do as reliable Filipinos is to vet our information, to check kung saan nanggaling, and before we pass it on, alamin muna natin kung nakakatulong ba ito or this is just a bit of sensational news that's going around. Unfortunately, really there's a wait and see attitude towards vaccines, which is actually wrong. Vaccines are the only way out of this pandemic kasi we cannot naman live in lockdown forever, no? Paano na yung buhay natin? Uh, unless we go the vaccination route, we're gonna be stuck here for the next 10 years having lockdowns. So, yung bakuna talaga is the way out of the pandemic. For those asking if it is safe, almost ang dami na, hundreds of millions of people in the world have been vaccinated. Wala pa po talagang namatay directly from a vaccination. And what I would say po is these have undergone intensive testing. These vaccines po have undergone intensive testing all over the world. In fact, wala na ngang what people like to say is all the world's best scientists tinigil muna yung studying about cancer, about other problems. Lahat tayo nakafocus sa COVID kasi
Yes.
kung hindi matapos to, we can't go back to our pre-pandemic occupation. So all of the best scientists in the world really nakafocus sila dito. And
Yes.
again, no, before the Philippines licensed any vaccine or what we call emergency use, hindi lang tayo nag-rely sa mga foreign experts. We have local experts na sinuri uli yung ebidensya. So really, there has been a lot of attention on the safety of these vaccines. Is it okay to wait? People always ask me that.
Yeah, I was going to ask because there are people who say na I'm going to wait to see what are the effects of the vaccines on those who have been vaccinated now, and then I'll wait baka in a year's time baka makita natin kung may side effects because people are thinking, di ba, na parang ang iksi ng testing period, ang iksi ng period to create. Can we really trust the vaccine? So, Doc, ano po ang masasabi niyo dyan? Like you've brought up.
Oo nga. Well, the process has been relatively quicker, but because nag-boost ng pera ang Amerika prior last year, they paid all the manufacturers already. Whether they will be successful or not, nagbigay sila ng seed money. Kasi the process kasi to create a vaccine, di mo alam kasi kung mag-work siya o hindi. So, nung walang pandemic, it takes a long time kasi first of all, maraming perang kailangan. Most of it is only private. And mabagal siya kasi konti lang yung mga nagvo-volunteer, konti yung pera. With the amount of money that the US poured in, they are not really worried about yung kasi they have to think, I mean, like, is it going to make money ba or what? Kasi imagine you went through entire steps and then palpak pala. So the US, we will pay for everything. Basta you just have a decent clinical trial at gumawa talaga kayo, babayaran namin. So kung mag-go, then good. Kung hindi, at least hindi naman kayo nalugi. Based on that, so many companies went forward. And then, again, no, let us credit, ang daming volunteers. Thousands of people all over the world volunteered yung katawan nila para lang matapos na tong pandemic na to. Okay?
Yes.
At saka, Diyos ko, ano ba itong mga Pilipino to? Merong grupong nagmumura. Bakit daw, merong group na let's wait. Meron namang group na nagmumura. Nahuhuli na daw tayo sa buong Asia. So, saan nilalagay? Where are we going to put ourselves?
Ano po ba yung totoo?
Nagagalit. Ano ba? The entire world is vaccinating except the Philippines. So, saan nilalagay ng gobyerno yung sarili nila? Diba?
Yes.
Are we late? Are we early? What? Well, actually, I would say we are in the middle tier of, hindi naman tayo the latest in the world, Hindi rin naman tayo the first kasi mga US yun.
Right.
So, itong meeting na to, marami nang nabakunahan, more than 100 million. Actually, I think it's 333 million from what I read yesterday.
Globally.
Oo, globally. So, marami na yun. Ano ba? What are you waiting for? 2 billion? Marami na yun. And then, number 2 is, the Pope was already vaccinated. Queen Elizabeth was already vaccinated. Si Joseph Biden, bakuna. Si Trump, nabakunahan na. Ang dami na. So, you're in good company. That's what I can say.
Can I
Si
say
Doktora, nabakunahan na.
Correct. Doc, can
yeah,
I
marami
ask kung, correct me if I'm wrong, but di ba people say nga na ang bilis, like it's been a year, only been a year and we have a vaccine. So some people, ano sila, yung parang hesitant kasi they feel that the process was so fast. But is it correct to say that that's the whole point of technology? Siyempre, when vaccines are being created earlier, years past, let's say smallpox or polio, ibang-iba po yung science nun. Iba po yung kagamitan natin, ibang-iba ang research. And of course, now that we have so much advances in technology, sana naman po, mas mabilis na po ngayon ang pagsasaliksik at paggawa ng vaccine. Tama po ba? Kaya po ba tayo
Yes,
mas
yeah.
mabilis?
All the world's technology, all the world's money, all the world's, lahat ng top scientists, tumigil muna sila sa kaiimbestiga ng cancer, kaiimbestiga ng ibang mga sakit, at inimbestiga nila to. So sa pagtutulong-tulungan they were able to move forward quickly. And of course, the fact that there was available funding is always a big deal.
Yeah.
Kasi syempre,
versus before, na iba-ibang
sarili lang, ganon.
Yes.
Wala namang worldwide cooperation. So,
yes. So, ito teamwork is the dream work.
Yeah, para siyang nag-teamwork yung buong mundo. And what I could say, people ask me, is waiting okay? My answer is no, it's not okay. If you have been called and it's your turn to get vaccinated, please to get vaccinated. Kasi the longer that we wait, humahaba yung pandemya. Habang humahaba yung pandemya, mas maraming namamatay sa bawat araw. People die every day from COVID. And number 2 is, people are also dying not only of COVID, Miss Rona and Miss Sharon, pero hunger. Yung economy natin, tumatagal yung recovery. Yun.
Yes. On the flip side, Doc, sa true lang, no? Because we are in the Philippines and we know our situation. There's also other, how do you put this? There's also the flip side where they really want to get vaccinated and they are willing to do it through means that are not official. And so I would think, that the answer to this is, please do it on official, please get vaccinated through official means. Tama ba?
Oo, yes.
Kasi minsan kapura, di ba?
Oo naman. Meron talagang mga desperado, nag-smuggle daw ng kung ano-ano. Pag napunta na tapo tayo doon, for example, may nangyari sa'yo, nagkaroon ka ng emergency reaction or what, saan ka tatakbo?
Yes.
Are you going to the ER of the hospital? Then of course, they will ask you, saan nyo po nakuha yun? Then you will say sa internet or wherever, then talagang questionable, and then they will say, what was in what you were vaccinated with? Wala silang masasagot. So, kasi if something happens to you, babalikan nila pati yung vial na pinagkuhanan nila, alam nila. So, talagang babalikan talaga nila yon. So, please, even though everyone is so excited to be vaccinated, I as well are, na umaabot na po sa mali, again, your safety is the number 1. Hindi po natin magagaranti kung ano po yung nabakuna sa inyo if we don't know where it really came from and if we cannot trust the source. Yun.
Yes. Lalo po yung yung kaibigan ko pong doktor ang maglalagay po sa akin ng bakuna. Wag po tayo sa ganon. Kumbaga yan sa bumibili po kayo ng appliance, wala po kayong warranty kapag nasira yung appliance, 'di ba? Kailangan magbabalik kayo na dito ko po yan binili at bakit po to nangyari. And we're only talking about an object, 'di ba? What more your body, what more your life, 'di ba? You would put more premium on making sure that what you are getting is legitimate and safe.
Yeah, that's right.
Another question.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the doctor, para malinaw, ano ang process natin, Doc, in the Philippines? Kasi nga yan, may mga, sabi nila may parang black market or ano. But ano ang proper channel and paano yung, I guess, people would want to know, ano yung rollout program natin? Paano yung order of priority in the distribution?
Actually, magandang tanong yan, Ms. Sharon, because we are following the worldwide order of priority, which includes frontliners po and vulnerables like the seniors and yung mga may comorbid o yung may ibang sakit. Kaya lang, very interesting ang Pilipinas. Whereas, kasi may trend ngayon, may thoughts na baka we should vaccinate the entire Metro Manila muna. So, pinag-uusapan pa yan. Kasi sa Metro Manila yung problema eh. Baka we are vaccinating all seniors all over the country from Aparito Kulo, tapos wala palang problema doon sa binabakunahan natin.
Right.
Kasi ito eh, scarce need. Kumbaga. And people ask me, why is there a worldwide shortage of vaccines? Siyempre, binili po lahat ng Amerika. Followed by binili ho lahat ng United Kingdom. Followed by binili lahat ng European Union.
Canada.
Yes. Actually, nag-aaway nga because Italy blocked a number of vaccines going to Australia. So basically, talagang there is a worldwide shortage.
Yes.
Kasi people are shouting, bakit walang bakuna sa Pilipinas? Well, because binili na po ng lahat ng mga first world countries. And sabi nga ng asawa ko, habang binabayaran ng Amerika, ang Pilipinas nangungutang pa lang. Okay? So we are not in the top order. I mean, alamin natin din yung lugar natin sa world order. Okay? But the vaccines, kasi the good news naman is, pag natapos yung mga first world countries, it will open up a lot of parang mag-free up ng supply. So there will,
Yes.
I think at the middle of the year, I think there will be a lot more supplies. And also, ang dami ring mga maraming companies that are coming out now. So there will be a lot of production. Pero for those na nagtatanong, bakit ito lang ang bakunan dumating sa Pilipinas, ganyan, there is a worldwide shortage.
Yes.
The first world countries bought all of them first. And number 3 po talaga, talagang there's parang geopolitics, nag-aaway ngayon ng mga countries. So indeed there is a worldwide shortage, but I do believe by the middle of the year marami nang darating. What is the vaccine rollout program? I think we'll just have to follow the government muna. Right now it's government nobody can sell a vaccine. You're not allowed to sell a vaccine. You're not allowed to make them available. You're not allowed to market also. It has to be through the government muna. And as soon as more supply comes out, I think they will be open to discussing other channels. Pero tama talaga si Miss Rona, let's follow the official channels. Kasi pag may mangyari po, mahirap talaga. Tama ka doon, walang warranty. Walang guarantee. At katawan mo yan, Diyos ko, huwag kang magsasaksak ng kung ano-ano lang. Yeah.
Yes. Maswerte ka po kung saline solution lang po ang laman nun. Eh kung hindi saline solution, paano po tayo?
Masama. It can be bad. So, Ms. Sharon, I think we'll know more as the supply increases. And worldwide po talaga, there is a shortage. Let's wait for the government, and I think they will be announcing more as more supply arrives. And mahirap talaga to say, be patient. Ang hirap dito sa Pilipinas, yung iba, I want to wait. Yung iba, bakit wala pa? So,
Yeah.
You can't please everybody. And I think, we know that now on the internet, we know that there's always going to be somebody who's going to have an opinion that is different from yours.
That is true.
At least when it comes to science, please do, again, going back to what Doc said, please know your sources. Kasi syempre, a lot of times, the reason we're so irate is because we keep on reading sources and resources that are not really official. Hindi ba? Yun nga, like I said, raise your hand kung naka-receive na po kayo ng forwarded Viber message na dapat ganito daw po gagawin nyo about COVID or dapat ganito po. Para po sa akin, and I would think with Ms. Sharon and Doc, unless these are really from the official channels and the sources that say WHO or DOH, huwag nyo na po basahin, unang-una. At pangalawa, huwag nyo na po i-forward.
Yes,
kasi,
that's true.
Dyan po tayo, this is the reason why we have so much talk that is not factual or not scientifically based. At yun nga, nauna po ang bad information about vaccines. And that's why together with the rolling out of vaccines, there is the rolling out of information. I don't know if you noticed this, a lot of doctors are posting online when they have attended forum na ito po ang facts. This is what a vaccine is, like this, like this, like this. Because we need to educate ourselves and we need to bring back faith in the vaccine and bring back faith into what our government is doing, right? And our doctors, especially our frontliners. A lot of us, ang rason natin, kawawa naman po yung mga frontliners. Diba? Nahihingalo na po sila. Ayan po, nagtatrabaho po ang frontliners natin. And they are saying the vaccines work. So,
Yeah.
if you are in line officially, as Doc said, please do get it. Doc, ako may tanong. What about the talk about the different vaccines, the different vaccine brands? Kasi, di ba, meron din yan online yung bakit walang ganitong vaccine? Yes, sa bansa natin, bakit ito lang po ang meron sa atin? Again, if you have just tuned in, Doc was vaccinated with, I don't know if I said it correctly, Sinovac. Okay. All right. So, ano po ang masasabi niyo?
About the vaccine choice naman. First of all, honestly, yung sinabi ko pong there is a vaccine shortage. So, hindi tayo nasa baba tayo ng listahan ng bibigyan, okay? O kahit may pambili pa tayo, wala tayong mabili. So, tama po yung sinabi actually that we really don't have a much of a choice at this point because the bigger countries bought all of it. And we have some, yung binigay po ng WHO, yung COVAX, that's the WHO initiative to give middle-income countries a chance to have vaccines. And then we also have some vaccines that were, yung Sinovac po was donated by the Chinese government. So actually, yung binili pa po ng gobyerno natin are not yet delivered kasi wala pa po talaga. Okay? Now, going to the different vaccine choices. Okay? Natataranta po tayo kasi ang daming lumalabas na bakuna. Which is good kasi marami tayong choices. Pero ngayon, bilang hindi doktor, natataranta na tayo kung ano yung dapat natin and we start to get choosy. Ito lang sasabihin ko, there are many endpoints to vaccines, but the most important endpoint talaga dito that we should look at is if the vaccine prevents death, if it prevents ICU, and if it prevents severe COVID, yun pa lang naman magandang endpoint na yon, okay? And all the vaccines that have been currently being tested ngayon all have above 90% endpoints of walang mamamatay, hindi kayo ma-ICU at kayo magiging severe. So, iyon po, malaking bagay na po. And then again, the issue is one vaccine better than the other. Well, at this point po kasi, the vaccines were tested in various parts of the world. Like for example, si Sinovac, the Chinese vaccine, was tested in Brazil, in Turkey, and in Indonesia. So, and the Pfizer and the Astra like that, they were tested in UK, US, Astra,
the West.
A lot po. Because it was made in the UK, ang Pfizer all over the US yung mga testing nila. What I'm trying to say is, if before you can say that one vaccine is better than another, kailangan matest sila sabay. In other words, there will be a group A, there will be a group B, and then they will be vaccinated with different vaccines. And hopefully, group A and group B will be the same place, same country. Kung pwede nga lang magkapatid si group A and group B, better. Para talagang patas ba ang laban. Okay?
Yes.
Then, palalabasin natin sila, titingnan natin kung mas maraming na COVID sa group A o mas maraming na COVID sa group B. But that will never happen kasi the vaccines were tested separately in different areas. So basically, di ba alam naman natin ang COVID, hindi lang naman due to the bakuna yan eh. Ang tanong, umiinom, like, kumakain ba kayo ng magkakasama na walang mask, o di ba? Umiikot ba kayo ng walang mask? O nagmamask ba kayo? So basically, there's a lot of personal behavior involved whether mako-COVID kayo o hindi. So the fact, iba't ibang areas. So basically, we cannot compare what happened in Brazil to what happened in US.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. The vaccines were not tested head to head. They were tested, ito ba nabakunahan at ito hindi, and then pinalabas. But never si Pfizer, ito si Sinovac, then together silang lalabas. Walang ganon. So, it's like comparing apples and oranges. Magkaiba talaga si apple, magkaiba sa orange. But the most important is, walang namatay sa apple group at walang namatay sa orange group.
Correct.
So, ganon. Oo. And different talaga yung groups A, group B.
Yes.
Actually, yung lumabas na mababa si Sinovac, nalaman pala na mababa siya kasi talagang totally healthcare workers yung na-enroll. Yung sa ibang kasi, iba't ibang mga tao. So yung healthcare workers talagang nasabak talaga sila sa COVID mismo.
The exposure is different.
Yes. So, iba talaga si Group A, iba talaga si Group B, at hindi sila pwedeng ikumpara. But the
Right.
most
Okay,
important
okay.
is na may namatay ba? Were they able to protect people? And the answer is yes, they were able to protect people and walang namatay. So that
Yeah.
alone is a fabulous endpoint. And
Yes.
pwede na hong pagpilian yung mga bakuna. And again, just did not rely on data from overseas. Yung mga Pilipino mismo, called the Vaccine Expert Panel in the Philippines, mga Pilipino po ito, pinag-aralan po nila lahat ng data.
Yes.
Yan.
Yes,
So,
oo. Sa
So
akin,
you
Doc, ano lang yan eh.
can ever vaccine and know that it will prevent you from dying. Yun.
Yeah.
right.
Sa akin, Doc, the way I look at it, syempre, di ba, tatanungin ako, magpapavaccine ka? Yes.
Yes.
When the right time comes, kung turn ko na, I will. Kasi, in my mind, the way I process it is, ang sarap ng pakiramdam na isang araw sisipunin ako, uubuhin ako, and I don't have to worry na baka ikamatay ko yung sipon at ubo kong yun. No,
Right.
that's how I'm viewing the vaccine now. Of course, yun yung aking personal opinion, but yun nga, hearing it from a medical doctor, no, na validate lang yon. Na ang end goal ko, I know na pwede pa rin akong sipunin, pwede akong ubuhin. You know, I can still get infected by COVID, but I will not worry that I will die or my family will end up paying millions kasi ma-ICU ako.
Yes.
Mga kababayan, hindi birong even if you survive, but ma-ICU ka, millions ang pinag-uusapan natin sa iyong treatment. Okay, so yun. That's how things are in my mind as far as vaccination is concerned. Yeah.
And the
Very
question is,
valid.
I think also, for example, I don't know if a lot of people also understand. Yun nga, it's a good thing Doc pointed out that the goal of the vaccine is for us not to be severely infected by the virus. So, hindi po tayo ma-ICU, hindi po tayo aabot sa kabilang buhay. And yun nga, where it's so severe. But does that mean that you can still contract the virus? And what effect will it have on your body if you are vaccinated? Does that mean yung symptoms mo are milder? Tama po ba, Doc? Possible ba yon?
Yes, the doctors are theorizing na it is possible for the symptoms to become much milder. Actually, hindi pa natin alam right now. The only thing that we can say is severe COVID, death, and ICU. But as more people get vaccinated at mas napapag-aralan, malalaman din natin kung ano yung role ng vaccine sa moderate COVID at malalaman din natin yung role ng vaccine sa mild COVID. Actually, may lumalabas ngayon that Pfizer now stops transmission eh. In other words, hindi kami nakakahawa sa iba. So, pero all of that is emerging data.
Yes.
So, lalabas pa as more and more studies are run. Right now, kasi nga talaga emergency, no? So, ang talagang finokusan muna nila yung, syempre, yung mamamatay, di ba?
Yes,
Later on, malalaman, later on, we'll know more about moderate, we'll know more about mild, and we'll know more about, transmission. Makakahawa ka pa ba sa ibang tao? So, more data is gonna come out on that issue. Pero
so,
yung sinabi niyo, very valid.
Yeah. Okay. So, ngayon na may nababakunahan na po. May nababakunahan na po dito sa Pilipinas. Marami na rin po nabakunahan sa ibang parte ng mundo. Pwede na po ba tayo magtanggal ng mask, Doc?
Oo. Yeah, because I'd like to go back, Doc, bago po sagutin, I'd like to go back yung sa isang earlier na sinabi mo, yung pag nag-vaccination, may discussion ngayon na baka mag-focus muna sa Metro Manila kasi parang nandito yung problema. Tapos ikakabit ko sa tanong ni Rona. Okay, nabalitaan natin may vaccine. Okay na ba gawing lahat yan? Wag magmask, magsama-sama na tayo. Tapos, but at the same time, yun nga, may na, mukhang ang problema ay ang Metro Manila, ang NCR. So yan, Doc, papunta na tayo sa ganyan.
Yes, tama kami, Sharon. The problem is really occurring in the National Capital Region and seeding the provinces. Talagang nagsiseed siya. Parang nandito yung ulo ng monster. Tapos it's giving out small, all over, then nagsiseed siyang ganon. So, though people have been vaccinated, our goal is to vaccinate 70% of the Filipino population. So that's more than 70 million people kasi mas marami sa 100 million. So malayo pa tayo doon, okay? At the
Yes.
moment, less than 1 million yung bakunang dumating sa Pilipinas. So we are really in need of more supply. Number two, habang wala pa itong goal na tong 70 million plus Filipinos, we really have to be on guard and to continue with our health protocols talaga. And even if you have been vaccinated, wala pa namang sigurado sa transmission.
Yes.
Pwedeng, and again, severe and mild. Ay, sorry, mild and moderate. So, hanggang severe lang talaga yung mga pinag-uusapan. So, definitely, we would still need to wear a mask at malayo pa tayo to normal life. But definitely, it is a step in the right direction. And
Yes.
talagang ano, ray of light and ray of hope. Ngayon, if we can continue this, and I'm praying and hoping na more supplies will arrive, and then we will start to vaccinate more and more people. Whether or not we'll concentrate on Metro Manila is another issue. I'm praying but that by the mid 2021 to later 2021, marami na tayong, we can make headway or makamove towards more and more people being vaccinated. Pero alam naman natin lahat may surge ngayon, so that is
Yes,
worrying.
oo.
So you'll be asking me questions about that.
Yes. Doc, yun nga tama no, we can call it a surge now because I think parang I think 5 days ago, ang sabi is wag mo nang tawaging surge, increase lang. So, but now, it is a surge.
Surge na siya.
Surge na siya. O, kasi, yes, if there, kasi may mga kilala ko, Doc, ayaw na nilang tingnan ng news. So, wala na silang idea kung ano na ang nangyayari. And sometimes there are people na, since hindi naman niya alam, so okay, tuloy ang buhay. Okay, so if you are not aware, yesterday po, 4,700 plus fresh new cases ang meron ang Pilipinas. So it is a surge, okay? And bakit po kaya nagkaka-surge, Doc? Madaming theory. Ano ba yung tinatawag na pandemic fatigue? Is it because of that?
Is it the variant?
Magaganda lahat ng tanong nyo. And this is, ito ang pinag-uusapan na lahat ng doktor ngayon, no? Well, therefore, let's go first to, yes, there is a surge, okay? Kasi for the last 3 to 4 months, talagang hanggang 1,000, ganoon, 2,000, malaki na yon. Bigla na lang naging 4,000. Nakakatakot, nakakalungkot, nakakaiyak, lahat na, nakakagigil, nakaka-worry for everyone who owns a business, nakakalungkot. Pandemic fatigue is real, you know. That's why sinabi nga nila dapat new normal. Yung pagsuot ng mask, pagsuot ng face shield, becoming careful. Parang nakakapagod din kasi. We tend to think of it as impositions and rules, and it can be really tiring to keep wearing this and to be on a high alert. Kaya nga kailangan it should be part of a normal. What do I mean by it should be part of a normal? Lalabas ka ba ng bahay mo na walang suot na blouse, 'di ba? Are you going to leave your house without wearing chinelas or shoes man lamang? So ganun po, that is how we should look at it. It is part of our life, it is part of our new normal. And hindi naman tayo nafafatig na magbihis, 'di ba? Kailangan eh. So ganon. Sana we have this attitude na kailangan. Okay, kailangan. And then secondly, yes, the variants are also worrying. And what are variants? These are mutations or pagkakaiba ng COVID in a certain way that may make it more transmissible or more nakakahawa. So nakakatakot po 'yan because if a variant, like sa UK, 80% na daw ng COVID doon is now the UK variant. And this UK variant mas nakakahawa. And unfortunately, meron na talaga nakapasok dito from people who came from abroad. Another talaga, dapat i-tighten natin yung protocol natin sa airport kasi doon nang gagaling. Nakakatakot isipin na this could be mutations of COVID na mas nakakahawa kasi mas nakakatakot at mas mahirap yan i-eliminate. Yon. So, yes, pandemic fatigue is real, nakakasawa na. But if you think about it that is part of your normal life, it will help you to accept now you need to do this all the time talaga. So, and I'm praying and hoping that it's not the variants because if it is, nako patay. Mahirap.
Okay. Doc, kasi I just like to share, no? Sabi niyo nga, the past few months, medyo nag-stabilize tayo to about 1,000 cases. Bumaba pa nga tayo to 700 cases a day.
That was
Okay,
the
so
time.
now as an events organizer, of course, ang gusto natin is, to move forward. Negosyante ka eh. You want to work, di ba? Yung ganon. So, we have been preparing and sana we're praying, no? Mangyari pa rin. There is going to be a blended bridal fair. So, ano ang blended? Meron siyang online component, okay? Na for those who are still not comfortable to go out, okay, and go to a bridal fair. And also yung exhibitors, na gusto nila online lang sila. And there is a short on-ground exhibit display. Okay, now, syempre critical yan. We will find out in the next few days kasi magbabago ngayon ang guidelines, no? So we don't know the on-ground component. So ako, as a business person, may ganun ako going towards that direction. With this ongoing surge, will those things, I feel na baka magka-effect, but do you think, Doc, na maapektuhan talaga ang mga businesses with this ongoing, sana wag siya maging trend, but with the figures we're seeing now, and also not just the businesses, but yung mga gusto magpakasal, yung nagpaplano na ng kanilang silver wedding anniversary, mag-intimate debut celebration, yan. Will that have an effect if we keep seeing the numbers rise?
We don't know. Next week will be very crucial. If we continue, and merong prediction of 6,000 a day daw by the end of the month, talagang hindi pwede yan kasi we will be out of control at hindi talaga kaya ng ating health system ang ganoon. So a lot will depend on what's going to happen next week talaga. And unfortunately, COVID really is dependent also on the behaviors of people. And alam natin talaga, tao talaga problema. Tao talaga problema. With regards to blended celebrations, I just wanted to share with you the experience sa PGH. Nagkagulo last week kasi the entire Department of Anesthesia was quarantined. And parang everyone thought na, oh my God, nahawa sila sa mga pasyente, di ba? Kasi we all know that PGH is a COVID center, the Philippine General Hospital. But upon investigation, nalaman nila that one of the anesthesiologists was, akala niya colds lang. Pumasok siya sa trabaho, then kumain silang 10 together, and ayun, na-quarantine silang 10 kasi may nag-positive na sa kanilang 10. And then the whole department was essentially nadamay na. So what I'm trying to say is, during a huge investigation by PGH, nalaman na number 1, nobody got sick from the patients. Number 2, everybody wore the PPE properly. And number 3, eating talaga ang kahinaan ng Pilipino. Pagdating ng merienda, patay. Okay? People were eating together in small rooms. So, what does this mean? It means that, as long as you wear a mask and a face shield, at hindi mo tatanggalin yon kahit kaharapan mo pa si COVID patient, hindi ka mahahawa. Kasi sa PGH, wala namang nahawa from the patient, nahawa from the kumain na magkasama. So, it's really adherence po talaga to the basic standards that we are having a problem with. And siguro because we want to be social, we want to be, natural lang yun sa tao. Pilipino, mahilig makipagkwento talaga.
Culturally, ganun tayo Doc, di ba? Culturally, I mean,
culture.
We're fighting against culture.
Mahirap sabihin. I don't know what will happen. I'm still waiting for the government guidelines, and next week will be a big test for us. Baka naman matakot lahat ng tao, wala na namang lalabas, magmamask na naman yung mga tao, and I'm hoping, bakit kailangan natin sa takutan? Wag naman ganon. I mean, let's make it a habit. Let's make it our daily, kailangan eh.
Right.
Because we can't live in a culture of fear, but we can live in a culture of safety.
Right.
Okay, Doc, ito isang question. Sa events, sa weddings and social events, alam natin na I think in February naglabas na ang DOT that now social events can be done in hotels, yung mga venues natin. So, but outside of Metro Manila, ginagawa na siya kasi MGCQ na sila. Naging uso ngayon, especially for weddings, and you would see it, nagpo-post ang mga tao about it. Nag-antigen testing sila before the event, let's say, para sa mga guests na papasok. And sometimes nagtatanggal na ng mask kasi ang rason is lahat naman kami na nag-attend negative. Okay ba yun?
Well, I'll just give you an example na lang. The former White House na to ha, yung kay Trump, meron silang daily antigen testing doon. Kasi
Daily?
syempre, or regular, wag na natin sabihin daily,
okay.
regular.
Okay.
Regular antigen testing. And the antigen testing becomes more reliable kasi the more frequently you do it. Hindi actually yung one ano lang, sometimes magkakaroon ng maraming false negative and nakakalusot. So if you do it on a regular basis, mas napipick up mo talaga. So the White House, yun yung kanilang testing strategy. Was lahat ng mga guests, ganon, lahat ng papasok. Si President Trump, nung panahon niya, tinetest lahat yan. But what happened? Di ba si President Trump mismo nagkaroon ng COVID? Kasi they were also quite confident na hindi nga lang sila one-time testing, pero regular testing pa, di ba? Pero what? Nagkaroon din ng mga outbreaks sa White House and mismong si President Trump nagkasakit. So what I'm trying to say is, antigen testing is good. Maganda naman kasi it gives you a further layer of confidence. Pero wag naman overconfidence kasi marami pa rin nakakalusot from the antigen testing. And pwede na nga wag mag-test eh. Basta wag lang magtanggal ng mask and to maintain the social distancing.
Right.
Yun.
So, paano pagkakain, Doc?
Absolute. Yun.
Doc, paano pagkakain?
Yun talaga ang problema. Yun talaga ang problema. Talagang mahirap. What can I tell you? Mahirap talaga. Mahirap.
Yeah. So I think
doctor can really tell you na kumain kayo, it's fine.
Yes.
Mahirap talaga.
And I think
reduce the number of the people in the table.
Right.
Diba, halimbawa, table of 10, gawin yung table of 4. At least para magkalayo yung mga tao. That's what I could suggest.
Okay, so, kasi yung pagkain, doon ka magtatanggal ng mask.
Yes.
Talaga.
Oo. And dapat tatawag magkwentuhan. Habang kumakain.
Oo.
Mahirap din.
Habang kumakain.
Yes.
Kain muna. Tapos pagka mask ulit, kwento. Pwede yun, diba, Doc?
I do that actually. I do that. Tama kami, Sharon. I do that.
I think what's important also, now, again, like we've said in this episode, it's been 1 year into the pandemic. And so our hope here at the Love Wins Live Forum is we have become more comfortable and accustomed to safety protocols. Diba po? Yung mask, face shield, hugas ng kamay, at social distancing. Kumbaga nga, ang sinasabi natin is, sana po, nakasanayan na po natin kahit papano. Kasi 1 taon na po natin tong ginagawa. Right? And when it comes to eating, yun nga, there are smart ways to do it. So if you are invited to an event or you are hosting an event, let us not argue with people who are suggesting how to follow the safety protocol. Halimbawa, sinabi sa'yo ng caterer, hanggang 4 in a table lang po tayo, ma'am. Okay? Wag na po natin awayin yung sinasabi po sa inyo kasi nga, pinag-aralan na ho yan nung mga supplier natin, nung mga coordinators natin. And yan po talaga ang way for you to be safe. Now, we understand, of course, that all of us want to be with our loved ones. All of us want to celebrate. And that's all normal. We want to tell you that that's normal. It is very normal for you to feel this way and to want to socialize and to want to hug people. But again, we are still in a pandemic and there are wise ways to go about doing your celebrations or meeting up with people. So, ayan po ang sinabi ng doktor, hindi pa po tayo pwede magtanggal ng mask, hindi pa po tayo pwede tumigil sa pag-social distancing at sa paghugas ng kamay. At kung tutuusin po, sinabi po ng gobyerno, bawal po lumabas ng walang mask at face shield. So, wag naman po natin awayin ng gobyerno sa sinasabi nila. Diba? Because I think I've been hearing reports that now, there are people going out without masks and hindi na napagsasabihan and things like that. So, tama nga po, lalabas ka po pa nang hindi nagtutoothbrush. lalabas ka po ba ng hindi naglalagay ng deodorant? Isipin nyo na lang po, parang ganun din po ang face mask at face shield.
Yes. Doc, siguro review lang. Ano ang review kasi baka nakakalimutan, baka napapagod na. Okay, ano ang tamang health and safety protocol? Ano ang dapat gawin?
Yun, balik lang talaga sa basics. We have to wear a mask. We have to wear a face shield. We have to maintain social distancing. And we have to wash our hands. Yun na lang, those 4, malaking bagay na yan, Miss Sharon. And you know what, nabanggit nyo nga yung events, alam mo, napakahirap ng trabaho ng co-ords ngayon. You have to strike a balance between, I think, it's very difficult to be a coordinator ngayon. Paki-share nyo nga yung ano nyo, have you heard? Mahirap ba talaga ang trabaho ng co-ord?
Actually, Doctora, I had,
oh my God.
Yeah. I had the, I did one wedding coordination work because this is for a family friend. So, yes, mahirap siya. As we got closer to the day, nakaramdam ako ng kaba. Because, eto na, harap kami. I mean, kahit 60 lang tong guest na to, hindi ko sila kilala. You know, and for months, I've just been with my immediate family sa bahay. And yung short errands ka lang eh. So ito, it's gonna be the whole day. We'll be out and working on ground. Eh, ano ang challenges ng coordinator? Dahil nga nag-antigen testing, you will get guests na pag ni-remind mo to put their mask back on, will tell you, negative ako sa test. Diba? So yun yung challenge. Or, yun nga, I've heard from other coordinators na nakikipag-away kasi gusto nila, 6 kami sa family, 4 lang nakalagay na, it did not happen in the wedding that I coordinated, but I've been hearing from other coordinators, magagalit kasi hindi sila pwede sama-sama in one table. Okay, and then there's the issue of the children na alam natin hindi pa pwedeng lumabas, pero ipipilit na, kasi yan ang first apo, gusto makita na maglakad, yung things like that. So it's really very difficult. Pero yun nga, Doc, di ba? The guidelines are there for a reason. Hindi po siya, and I just wanna point this out. Of course, si Doktora talaga yung may dito, authority yung sa medical but I just wanna point it out from an events manager, organizer's point of view. Ang guidelines po are there for a reason. Hindi namin siya, for our events, hindi ho namin siya ginagawa at our whim kasi wala lang, gusto ko lang na ganyan ang distansya ng walkway, no? It's there for a reason and it should be followed. Because kung susundin po natin ang guidelines, there will be order, di ba? And mas less yung possibility of us getting into trouble. In this case, lesser possibility of catching the virus. That's why the guidelines and the protocols were put in place. So kailangan lang sumunod. For those who are saying na gawa-gawa lang yung COVID na yan, it's a form of controlling us. Ako po ay naniniwalang tunay ang COVID. I have had friends and family members who have gotten sick, who have been hospitalized. There is a former themes and motifs staff who passed away from COVID. So tunay po ang COVID.
Yes.
Tunay siya. And it's not to control us. Diba? It's very unfortunate that at this day and age, nagkaroon ng isang sakit na despite yung advances ng science and technology, isang sakit na napakahirap i-manage. But totoo siya eh. It's happening and we just have to follow what the medical experts are saying. Kasi inaral po nila yan. Wag po tayo mag-doktor-doktoran.
Yes.
Tama ba, doktora?
Napakahirap. I think the job of a co-ords now is even harder than the job of a doctor. Kasi talagang iba talaga yung, no, I'm not joking kasi at least pag doktor ka, alam nila yung kailangan. Pag co-ords ka talaga, iba talaga yung paniniwala ng mga tao and it will be very, very, very difficult.
Yes. And depending on the setting, di po ba? Pag nasa ospital, syempre, yung mga tao, alam nila, susunod sila sa protocol, gagawin, ayaw nila magkasakit eh, di ba? Pero pag nasama na yan sa kaibigan nila, napasama na yan sa kapamilya nila, sa angkan nila, ay wala na po tayong
Rules,
rules
yes,
dyan.
rules pag nakainom. Oh my gosh, ayoko na
Ako,
talaga.
mahirap. Yes. So, tip, again, we have to say this is a tip if you are getting married, if you are going to have a debut, you're going to have a party, or any sort of celebration where you are gathering people, hire a good coordinator who
Huwag
will
lang
not
more.
be afraid.
Yun.
Yes, who
Kasi,
will not be
you know,
afraid.
sensitive issues yan eh. And kawawa naman yung courts. Dati yung mga lang, family sensitive issues. Ngayon para silang naging health protocol and safety officer.
Correct.
Ang
Yes.
iba, I'm really sensitive to their job. I'm sensitive to the difficulty.
Oh,
Talaga.
yeah.
And I'd like to ask everyone, no, you respect your coordinator. They are there for a reason. They're telling you this. Hindi po nila inimbento to. Trabaho din po nila
Yes.
to. And sila din po ay nawawalan when you cannot have a big
Right.
wedding.
Or I think even, let's say, security guards in establishments who remind you, di ba? Ako, minsan napagsabihan na rin ako kasi nagtaas ako ng face shield sa grocery. So, sinabihan po ako, pakibaba po uli yung face shield mo kasi hindi ko mabasa yung binabasa ko. So, wag na po natin sungitan yung mga, yung mga staff, hindi po ba, ng mga
They're
establishments.
doing their job. Oo.
Yes.
Yes. Kasi ang end goal ho natin lahat is to survive this pandemic. And yun nga, ang next kalaban natin dito, baka hindi nga tayo magkasakit kung hindi kayo tatamaan ng sakit. Baka pare-pareho po tayo mamatay sa gutom dahil wala na pong negosyo at wala nang trabaho. So,
True.
the sooner that we cooperate, the sooner this will be over. Nakontrol na nga natin eh. Nakontrol na natin. Ngayon, balik na naman tayo sa surge. Ano ba to? Pa-anniversary special ba to? Nakakainis naman. Kaya sabi ko kay Rona, happy anniversary. One year ago today. Diba? And we're back to
I have a question, Doc, kasi we have a young family. So we have small children who haven't been out, right, in a year. So do you think, Doc, I don't know if you're going to be able to answer definitively, no, but what do you think about our kids and them being able to go out and live a semblance? Kasi I really don't think it's going back to normal. I think that's something we really also need to change in our mindset. The problem kasi I think is that our lives changed overnight, right? Like we just woke up and the next day you cannot go out, you cannot do this and all of that. So in our mind, it will go back just as quickly. Yung ganun lang, pag nabakunahan lahat, bam, di ba? Balik na. But I don't think that's the case that will happen, right? Things will roll out slowly and return to life pre-pandemic slowly. So do you think, Doc, for the kids?
Sa kids?
What do you think?
Usapan namin mag-asawa yan kasi may anak din kami. Sabi ko, ako, I'm in favor of starting face-to-face sa mga areas na low talaga ang COVID. Kasi may mga lugar na wala talagang COVID. Ano pang ginagawa ng mga bata sa bahay? Okay?
Right.
And number 2, ako, di ba nagka-issue about kids in malls? I would say not in malls, pero kids should be able to go to gardens, outdoor activities po, mga bukid, mga farm, ganun po talaga ang dapat concentration natin. Parks. And kasi po kids, they need to run around din po. They do need that. And malaking bagay sa mental health ng kids, mental health ng parents. Mga open spaces is what I would suggest with this. And Ms. Sharon, Ms. Rona, talagang nakikiisa ako sa inyo na you have to move your life forward rin. If you want to get married and coordinate with the proper persons. Kung may debut ka, work within the parameters that we have. Kasi your life, hindi naman siya naka-hold. Kailangan mag-move pa rin. And life celebrations must go on kasi mental health is also important. Kailangan lang talagang sumunod lang tayo sa tama at yung sinasabi po ng gobyerno.
Right.
At Doc, ako hihirit ko. Mga suntuweds, kung nanonood po kayo, wag yun naman sobrang tawaran ng mga suppliers. Kasi minsan ang hirit is, pandemic naman ngayon eh, especially the coordinators. Wag niyo pong baratin. I mean, you pay the correct amount of professional fee. Matakot po kayo pag sobrang alam mo yung halos ibigay for free ang service because lahat nagmamahal because it's a pandemic, di ba? Even sa hospital, you pay for the PPE, etc., etc. So for the services of the people that you contract for your wedding, for your social functions, if they charge you a certain professional fee, na of course wag naman yung arm and a leg talaga ang charge, but reasonable, and this is a professional that you're dealing with, ibayad yun na yon. Kasi kung hindi kayo ang magre-remind sa mga bisita nyo, mag-social distance, and you will be the ones who will be on a lookout for the proper implementation of health and safety guidelines. So, again, it's important. One, sabi nga ni Doktora, yung sources of information, it's important that you get it from the right source. Number two, when you are doing your events and you're getting suppliers for that, it's very important that you hire the professionals, people that have years. Maganda nga yung years of experience kasi varied yan eh. Nakagawa, iba-ibang scenario na ang hinarap ng mga coordinators na seasoned yung experience, seasoned na sila by time, by different experiences. So, and that is what you are paying for. Yung professionalism na yon. So, yun lang ang ilalaban ko sa mga sa ating mga wedding professionals.
And we have to see through all our interviews here on the Love Wins Live Forum or even in inspirations.ph, hands down, lahat po ng nagpakasal nitong pandemya, lahat po sila, either sinabi nilang napakasulit po kumuha ng wedding coordinator, or the flip side, dapat po talaga kumuha ako ng wedding coordinator. So ano yan, across the board, wala pa po kaming nakakarinig ng otherwise. So, yun.
Yeah. So Doc, ang dami ko pang gustong itanong, tingin ko magkaka-part 2 tayo. Pero ano po yung parting words ninyo? Sabi niyo nga, critical ang darating na linggo for all of us. So ang inyo pong final words, reminders, and if they want to follow you and ask you, send questions, paano nila gagawin yun, Doc?
Thanks, Miss Sharon. I do have an FB Live. It's called Dr. Anna York Bondok. You can send questions and we discuss vital topics like vaccination po. Other health topics, very informative. You can follow us there and send questions. To everyone, I just like to assure everyone that our safety protocols are still the best, best panlaban dito sa sakit na to. Yung sinabi po nating mask, face shield, and social distancing, 1, 2, 3, ganun pa rin po. Do not be afraid of vaccines. That is the way out of the pandemic. And kung magtutulungan po tayo, I'm sure we will get there para matapos na po ito. And again, if you are planning to get married, if you have a family celebration, do proceed because your mental health is also important. You have to live your life, but with safety.
Well said. Yeah, Doc, we will get in touch with you. Parang kailangan natin ng part 2. Depende sa mangyayari in the next coming days and weeks. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. Yeah. Doc, dapat ata mag-seminar ka sa aming mga wedding professionals, no? Oo, ayan. Again, thank you so much to everyone that tuned in. It's been a very informative session. Miss Rona, salamat. Parting words.
Thanks everybody for joining us again this morning at the Love Wins Live Forum. So we hope that if you found this helpful, you can share this stream with your family and friends. They can still keep watching it even if we are no longer live. So do share it on your walls, share it in Messenger, or you can watch it again on Teams and Motifs TV, on YouTube. Okay, that's how you find us on YouTube, Teams and Motifs TV. And of course, please do stay safe, stay home, wash your hands, wear your face mask, your face shield, and stay socially distant for now. We'll see you again next week at the Love Wins Live Forum. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.